Supporters of former President Jacob Zuma are hosting a prayer meeting in Nkandla to show support for the former head of state. Zuma is expected to address the prayer session. Zuma and the Correctional Services Department are challenging the High Court order which overturned his release on medical parole by former Correctional Services Commissioner Arthur Fraser. For more on this story, let's cross now to my colleague Simphiwe Makhanya. A very good afternoon, Simphiwe. Just tell us what you know so far.
Good afternoon to you, Nompu. Indeed, supporters of former president have started, converging outside his home here in Nkandla, ahead, of course, of that prayer, which has been organized by members of the clergy here in the province, as well as ANC members from across the province, especially coming from, various regions of the ANC in this province. In terms of who is here, Nompu, I have seen quite a few leaders of the region where former President Jacob Zuma comes from, which is the Nkandla region, as well as eThekwini region leaders who have also, made their way here. We are also expecting more and more of those leaders to be making their way into, this prayer gathering here outside former President Jacob Zuma's home. But to speak more about what can be expected as the day progresses, I'm joined by the son of the former president, that's Mr. Edward Zuma. Mr. Zuma, thank you very much for your time. As the family, how are you, welcoming this prayer organized by supporters of the ANC, members of the ANC, as well as the members of the clergy?
We welcome it with warm hands. We are very much humbled with the gesture and what has transpired here. Under the circumstances, nobody would be expecting such, but because we all were born and bred in the family called the African National Congress, it's something that you must expect from members of the African National Congress, regardless of the situation and the circumstances you are facing at the time.
Speaking of the circumstances and the situation, there are these court processes that are going to be unfolding for the former president. How is he keeping?
Well, look, you would be making me a legal guru now because I would want to substitute those issues with due respect to the legal gurus and the attorneys of President Zuma, who are duly authorized to communicate and comment on such. I may not know what goes on and what does not go on, so it will be imperative of me to be commenting on such, and it will be very wrong as such.
Okay. Mr. Zuma, coming to you directly now, there have been reports in the media saying that you're going to be availing yourself for the position in the leadership of the province, which is the Provincial Executive Committee. Is that the case?
You're the third person to be asking me such a question. In the ANC, you do not avail yourself. It's the membership that makes you available. And when membership of the ANC decides, you would have to follow through. Mine, as a member of the African National Congress, it would be to accept that particular nomination. Well, obviously, I could not do that, or I will not do that, if I do not request such permission from my honorable, newly fresh leadership of Nkandla region, which we have all trust in.
Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Zuma.
Thank you, sir.
That's Edward Zuma, the son of former President Jacob Zuma, here outside former President Jacob Zuma's home in Nkandla, confirming indeed that if branches of the ANC nominate him to form part of the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC in the province, he will indeed heed that call from branches of the ANC. Nompu, at the moment, the prayer has not started. We are expecting more and more supporters to be making their way here. There was an issue of the protest as you head to Eshowe, which has delayed I suppose the proceedings from commencing from where we are, but we'll continue to be stationed here to get a sense of what is going to be unfolding outside former President Jacob Zuma's home.